So today I got joining me is Dale Liner, childhood friend, grew up with him. He's actually becoming a known actor and also is much involved with birds. He's very interesting. It's going to be great. Phil Liner.
Well, distantly.
How was that connected?
Well, he and I were. Well, he
died.
He died,
right?
yeah. But he was like my dad's third cousin, my fourth cousin. So.
He lived over in West Eldridge Acres.
Yeah.
I don't remember which house he
I
lived
don't either.
in.
I saw him
vaguely
half a dozen times in my life, probably.
Well, I used to play foosball with him.
Right.
He was a real good foosball player.
Right. And you got. Our family's a pretty big family.
What about Liner's gas station?
They're my uncles too. Yeah.
Your
Frank
dad's
and Neil,
brothers?
Great uncles.
Oh.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of time pumping gas as a kid. You know?
Which one?
Well, Frank had the Chalet Amnicole up exit 25, and Neil had the 76 here on Ocoee Street, and so we'd be over there just.
The one where the Bank of Cleveland is, or the one where the haircutting place is?
Where the haircutting place is, yeah.
What about where the Bank of Cleveland is? Was he a Liner?
I don't know which one that was.
He may not have been a Liner.
Yeah, I don't know which one that was.
But the other one, didn't they pump gas for like? They would pump gas like when everybody else had stopped.
Long stop. Neil was out there pumping gas. I remember not. It wasn't that long ago.
No,
before he died. Yeah, he was still pumping gas till I think right before he died.
That would really be handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But
just pull up, you keep talking on the phone.
Today,
wash your window, check your oil.
And wiper fluid, everything, and make sure your air pressure's right.
If they did that today, would people stop there for another nickel a gallon?
I would.
I would.
I mean, heck, you get like 15 cents off a gallon. You buy so many groceries at Food City, or something like that.
Yeah,
it's worth a nickel.
It really is.
It's worth more than that.
Yeah, not to get out of the car and
just
stay on the phone because you're calling somebody.
Right. Hey, I'm always on the phone. So it seems like I can't live off that phone.
My wrist has been hurting the last few days. I think it's because of that phone.
It probably is.
Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel, yeah. And the phone ain't good for your eyes either. The blue light. So you're constantly looking at computer screens these days. And
what about Tony Liner?
Big Tony.
Yeah.
He was about what 220, 6'2".
See, he lived down the road.
Yeah, it was right across the street. Yeah.
Well, down the road and to the left.
Yeah, to the left, right there at the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my first cousin.
Yeah,
he and I are like brothers.
He's more related to you.
We spent a ton of time together growing up.
How much older is he than you?
Maybe a year and a half. Well, born in June, about a year and 3 months.
Back then, it seemed like a long time.
Right.
Did you live in West Eldridge?
No,
or
I
did
lived
you
in
just
Tasso.
West Eldridge was a rough neighborhood.
Well, you guys produce a lot of people. Crazy
there
people.
There was Earl Wiseman. Yeah.
So, I remember that. Earl was nuts.
He was nuts.
Yeah, he ended up getting killed hit by a car.
I think somebody killed him,
yeah.
Don't you?
It was on Highway 58, I think, up in Meigs County, possibly.
What was his problem?
I don't know. Tony
he was really nice.
Tony could tell you more about him. Tony was close to him.
Oh, really?
Friends with him. I mean, they lived across the street from each other.
Yeah, he lived like right.
Not far.
No,
he's right one house down across the street. And I think his house was red, if I remember right.
He was really always nice to me.
Earl was a different guy. But, then you had Sean Hassan. He grew up
Sean Hassan, and he's dead.
He died from cancer. And, you get a...
And Sean Hassan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that name in years.
Yeah, I happened to be doing a dove release at Hillcrest there and standing right over his grave one day.
And didn't you know it?
I looked down. It's Sean Hassan, and I think Tony went and was going to buy a headstone. He didn't have a headstone. He just had a little plate.
Me and Sean were good friends.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He was really a good guy.
Yeah, I think he died when he was 14 or 15 years old, something like that.
He was probably
something
12, 13.
Yeah, he was young. I remember that. Yeah.
He'd come over to the house and we'd drink those Fango Cokes. Those fake
I remember,
Cokes.
yeah. Get it the off-brand
Yeah,
store.
off-brand stores.
yeah, Fango. I hadn't heard that name.
He had
in
a
while.
brother named Richard.
Yeah, I think he moved off to somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I think Sean's dad died. He died. I think only
his
one left.
sister's still living.
I think only one left is his sister. I think Richard
Michelle.
died. Yeah, I can't remember.
I wouldn't know what she looked like,
No,
but I remember that
I
name.
can see the face, but I can't remember. I don't know what she looks like now. But yeah, it's a small
And the
world.
Yoders, remember
Yeah,
the Yoders?
Yeah. Tony was friends with them. I can't remember what was that boy's name.
Charlie
Yoder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went. That's all Cleveland High School, and I went to Bradley. So it was a little.
Well, I went to North Lee and Bradley,
Right.
so it was a.
But you could go both.
it
back
was
then.
a mix.
Right. Yeah, and see, a lot of those folks chose Cleveland
Yeah.
over Bradley. That's a mistake.
Do you remember Vaughn Taylor?
Vaughn Taylor? Yeah.
He was the first guy that smoked. I remember.
Yes, he did. Poor guy.
He was 12, 13 years old smoking.
Yeah, they're smoking, Lord Almighty. But they let people smoke at school back in those days. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think I got into high school and they still had that smoking pit at Bradley.
Oh, I remember smoking sections.
Yeah, they had a little place out there.
Yeah, with a little roof on it.
Yeah, roof on it. Frank stand out of the rain or whatever. I thought, man,
Kids probably don't even smoke that much like they
I
used
hope
to.
they don't. Yeah,
It was
bad.
that was bad. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's bad. Bad. No good. Tobacco just need to stay away from completely.
When you got out of high school, did you go right to the military?
I was in the Marine Corps and played in reserves and played ball at Chattanooga State and Tennessee Tech. Had a great time, But then later on, I ended up going to, I became a police officer. And,
Well, how long was you in the Marines?
not long enough, really. But I spent some time between and became a police officer. And I went to work for the U.S. State Department. And the State Department was, I think 2003. So when I went to work as a police advisor, I went to Liberia. In the Civil War there. It was a crazy time. And
What were they arguing over?
West Africa is there's like 4 countries over there that there's a faction of people that's disruptors. They just stir up things, and they're not from any one country. It's just they like going around and stirring up things. Usually over like blood diamonds. You got Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast, Liberia, and Guinea. Those 4 countries. And they just kind of go around. But Liberia the Civil War is over. Charles Taylor took over that country at a coup, and he's in prison. I don't know. I think he's still alive. He's in Hague, I guess. But when I went over there, they'd been 15 years in the Civil War. No education system. People would do. I thought, hey, listen. I went there thinking I'm going to teach them everything they need to know about democratic policing, how to do things right. I got over there and they taught me more about life than I ever thought I could learn. I learned a ton. These folks are really, really survivors.
Barbaric?
No, they're good. They're good people. You go to a place like that and you think you're going to see, just like you think, barbarians.
Third world.
It was third world, but it was. They had no running water, no electricity for 15 years, right? But everybody had a cell phone.
Is that right?
That's the craziest thing. They have a little place you charge up a cell phone with, a little Honda generator. They charge somebody a few Liberian dollars. Back then, it was 2003, 4. I think somewhere in there that I think the Liberian exchange was 65 or 66 Liberian dollars to $1 US dollar. And so you could buy just about anything for very little. Now, when the UN moved in and took over, it ended up being a little different thing for Westerners. You had to pay more than anybody else, but you have money. And things cost a little bit more. I think I found some, I've been there for a while and hadn't had real food like you're used to, right?
Yeah.
I started having dreams of Big Macs and stuff. That's not good. Right?
What kind of food they had? Beef?
No. If you found beef, it was all just really tough meat. It wasn't good. Chicken was real. It's just just real free range chickens. If you want to really call it free range, you don't tell them what they're eating either. Skinny chickens. But the Firestone plantations right there where I was at, I actually was in a little town called Buchanan, which is just right south of Monrovia, which is the capital city. It's the largest city there. Buchanan's the second largest. Monrovia had 1 million people supposedly. Buchanan had maybe 80,000. It didn't look like 80,000. About the size of Charleston. But they're all, you know, packed in, right. There'll be a freestanding house, and, you know, somebody could be living in it, but they, instead of living in it, they'll just build a mud hut right beside it because it's not their house, you know. So they'll sit wherever they can. So there's a thing there where, you know, you got to choose what area you want to work in. And I thought, well, I don't really want to be in town. I want to be out, either there's a mountain area that sometimes it snows in the winter. They don't really have winter there, right by the Guinea border, and or on the beach. And I actually got to go to the beach down there at Buchanan. I had a beach, man, all to myself. It was awesome. Was there every day if I could be there after we got finished with work, you know, for a couple hours and body surf. I had tore a rotator cuff, and I got out in that ocean, swam every day, and it fixed it. You know, just out there swimming, made it better. Still have problems occasionally, but it's not bad.
It's better than surgery, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, so they had a lot of things going on, but I did some crazy stuff. I mean, you know, I'm kind of an outside the box thinker anyway. We had some witch doctor kidnap some people, and this police chief comes to my house. He's the chief of this county. Comes to my house on this. We're at the Liberian mining. Basically it's a community there, the American mining community for iron ore, and it had been abandoned for years, but it's all American built houses. And the Bangladesh Army had taken over this area. They were the UN force there. Bangladeshis. I mean, come on, they're nice people, but you know they're not a very good military.
Right. There's not Russia.
Right. And so we have these guys. We're living on a base with them. This police chief comes to our house one day. I've been there about 2 or 3 months, and he knocks on the door and says that he needs to talk to me. That somebody has kidnapped some people and called the devil from the bush. He called the devil from the bush. This guy did. This witch doctor, Zoe is what they call them, the Zoe Society. He says it's like a parallel government to the government. They're all like the religious advisors to each government head. And each community, each village has a Zoe that leads that community. It's crazy. He called the devil from the bush. The devil comes out, takes their clothes off of them, and throws white chalk on them and takes them back into the bush. And he says they'll never come out. You'll never see them again. They'll be dead. They're just dead. No, we can't save them. And I'm like, let's go get him, Chief. And he's like, no, he's scared to death of this guy. He's afraid he said, Minor, you don't understand. He can make your eyeballs pop out. And I said, well, the right pressure, I can make his pop out. Yeah. And he just went on and on and on about this. And I said, look, we're going to go out there and try to get these people. So I gathered up a bunch of Bangladeshis. I called their colonel and had him send me a bunch of soldiers over. And we drove out to this jungle area. Had one police officer. The chief, he wasn't going to go. He refused to go. It's dark. He don't want to go. He's a survivor, like I said. He lived through a civil war and still remained intact. So we get out to this. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive through the jungle to get to this location where it actually was a palm nut plantation. And there's 2 villages there. One in the middle. It's like a big circle that you get to the middle of this thing. You have to drive this big, crazy circle to get to this middle plantation village. And there's one on the edge of the plantation. The one on the edge is not. We're in a place called Grand Bassa County. These are Bassa people, and these over here from another area. They kind of moving in, trying to take over. This is what this all is about. It's about who's going to live here and who's got territorial, right? So we're dealing with this guy trying to talk to him. He won't talk to anybody unless they're a witch doctor. But just so happens, this chief did send a detective who was in that society with us. And I didn't like this guy. He's kind of a goober. Yeah. So we're doing our little thing, and I'm letting him negotiate to release these people. He can't get anywhere. 2 hours later, I'm still, look, and we pulled up, there was about 300 guys wearing grass skirts with white chalk all over them. And I'm telling you, and my lights, I can't see past them. It's just reflecting right back in my eyes. I don't know what's behind them. I have no way of finding out. So I thought, we're just going to come back tomorrow. I don't like this. It's just, it's ugly. They may have a tank sitting behind these guys ready to shoot us. So we left, and we're going to come back the next day. This next day, I told them to meet at the police station. That's what we did. Well, the Grand Zoe of Liberia, the guy that's in charge of all these people, shows up to do the negotiating. He tells me this Zoe's out of control and he needs to deal with him. I said, okay. So we'll go do that. We left and go, listen, we got out there. He talked to him for 3 or 4 hours, wasn't getting anywhere. I thought, I've had enough of this. I'm going to fix it myself. I'm the Grand Poobah of North America, by golly. That's what I told him. Yeah. I put pepper spray on my hands. I said my touch will set him on fire. That's what I told my boss I was going to do. And I grabbed that guy by the face. And that pepper spray is 20% oil-based pepper. Yeah. It's strong. It's twice what we got.
He thought you had powers or something?
He thought I had powers, right? He started feeling that fire on his face, buddy. He started in broken English and Bossa, and they brought the people out. And so we got them released. And the Zoe and all these police officers went out there. Everybody saw that this Grand Poobah, this little guy right here, who came up with this crap out of my butt, had gotten these people released because I'm the Grand Poobah. Yeah. Well, we get back to the police station a little later, and the Zoe wants to take his picture with me. So my boss says, I'll take your picture, and he'll go back to our office and print it off and bring it back to him. Well, he did that, but he goes back to the office, and he puts a red eye reduction and blurs my skin. Everything, my skin, my face, everything is blurred. Yeah. And gives it to him and said, Liner's powers are so great that he can't be photographed with another person with like that. It's like crazy crap. Well, that was good enough, right? So they all thought it was fantastic, right? Now, listen, when we drive through the jungle out there, we play disco music on the PA. And people would hear that. They never heard it before a lot of times. They come out and they start dancing. I have videos on my Facebook of it. It's crazy. So we're out there driving through the jungle one day, and I think I'm 2 weeks from leaving. I've been there a year. I'm about to go to Iraq. And so I told my boss, I'm the deputy regional commander. He's the commander for the region. I said, I'd like to go to Greenville, which was a 5-hour drive south, but the war never touched there. It looks like a little South Louisiana town. They have electricity still. They have a Texaco station even, but it's a pretty place. I want to drive down there just one more time before I left to see the place. The beach is awesome. They do have a shipwreck right there on the beach. It's kind of cool to look at. That's the only thing that's unusual about it. So we drive down through there and we're playing disco music. We're coming almost to town, and I don't even know what it was we were playing on the. It had a little CD in the music thing playing on our PA. I don't remember what song it was, but anyway, there's these two guys coming running out of this little medical clinic, yelling "Poobah, Poobah," chasing us down the road. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Man, I made my mark on this country. I can leave now." and his church actually started they're supplying money for an orphanage over there, and he goes back every year to take them things, and he said they're still talking about the Grand Poobah. It's been that many years later, still there, in spirit anyway.
That's really something. So what was your main job there? Just to teach them how to?
Well, as a police advisor, we're international police for the UN. That's what we were supposed to be doing.
Do they do that a lot?
It's a pretty popular program. It's a lot of. So it started back. We sent some people to East Timor. The State Department had a program, a mission there. It's with the, I can't even remember what division of the State Department. It's the International Narcotics thing or something. Anyway, they have a whole program that's just for international policing. And our first mission, I think, was in East Timor. Then Haiti came up. Haiti was the next one, like in '96. And then Kosovo and Bosnia. And I was going to go to Kosovo. That's where I was originally supposed to go. But I had not signed one piece of paper for them to do my background when I put in for this job. At the time, I worked at East Ridge at the police department there, and I had a friend that worked for the county. He went to Kosovo, and he made $107,000 tax free. I thought, I'm going to make some money and I want to go there. So I ended up making like $130,000 in Liberia. It's a little bit more. The threat was a little higher, so they paid you a little more. But I didn't sign one piece of paper. They already done my background. Everything was done. It was a 99% washout rate. People don't make it, to this program. And it's just happened. Everything the stars lined up, and I got in. When I got to Liberia, I remember we pulled this plane pulls up to what looked like a bus station. That was the airport. You know, Charles, whatever. I can't remember the name of the airport actually, off the top of my head, but it was like a bus station. It smelled something awful, and there's a unique smell to Liberia. If I could put it in a bottle, it's weird. It's like everywhere you drive, it smells like a campfire. It smells like you're driving through a campground.
Not good or bad.
No, it's a good thing. It's an awesome smell.
Like going into an old house with a wood burning stove.
Yes, it just smells cool, right? The whole place does. But there's also places that smell really bad. That palm nut stuff is nasty. Let me tell you, I had to work a wreck. A truck was carrying palm nut, I guess, oil. They can make a lot of stuff out of it. A lot of what they make out of is like booze, like whiskey and crap. But palm nuts, this oil is really smelly. I mean, it's strong. I couldn't even get close to the truck. It was bow water on the worst day. Just had no, it was not even close to this. This odor was terrible. But the rest of the country, it's awesome. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go on vacation there, it's a place to go.
Why did you stay in that field?
Well, I liked it. I enjoyed that work. So I'd done some things there. I got a UN, got all kinds of awards, it seemed like, every time I turn around. Then the same time I'd do the same thing another time, and then the daggum police commissioner was trying to fire us for it, you know.
Yeah.
The same, we do one thing, save somebody's life, and then the next day you do the same thing, and then he's like trying to come after you. Crazy man. This guy got run off from about 3 or 4 agencies before he got to the UN.
Oh.
Anyway,
too uncertain, I guess.
He's just a nut job. He's a liberal nut job. I hate it for him because, you know, he had a lot of good things about him. The commissioner, I liked the guy personally. It's just he was too ambitious. He wanted to move up to the UN further, and you know he would do what he could to get there. And ambition will get you sometimes. So I stayed there in Liberia for that 1 year, and then I went to Iraq. I came home for a couple months, and then straight to Iraq. And I was a police advisor there. That was the job. But I didn't do that. I did a lot of other stuff. I did the police advisory job, but I was attached to the SFODA for like 7 months there, which that's a special forces team with the Army. And one of my partner was a Marine Corps intel officer, and our job was actually to try to stop the insurgency in Western Iraq, and we did. Large part of what we did was because I'm a falconer. I can talk to people. All these Arabs over there, they are all falconers. That's their national pastime.
Is that where it started, falconry?
It started in China, but that's their national pastime. 4,000 years ago, the first written thing about it's in China. Then it moved into the Arab areas, and you know that's their way of life.
Falconry was used. When did you become a falconer?
Dude, I think I was dropped on my head when I was little. My mom or dad could tell you that probably. I was chasing birds when I could walk. I got my first falcon, my first kestrel when I was 9. But I caught it in a silo.
Falconry, and then there's hawking.
Right, hawking is just hunting with the birds,
Hunting with a hawk.
Right, hunting with the hawks. And falconry, you're hawking when you're flying your birds. That's called hawking. Falconry is just a sport of flying hawks and falcons for capturing wild game. But I use these birds to be able to talk to these people, the sheikhs over there, the people that ran the country. They would they wouldn't speak a lick of English to the military, but then you start talking about birds and you show them a couple pictures of your white falcon, and they show a picture of this white gyrfalcon, and now that they speak English perfectly well and they'll talk to you, and so then once we started a dialogue, I could talk to them and get information on who's doing what, and it helped us catch a lot of bad guys. And so that led to working for the State Department in other fields. I went to work for the high threat teams after that. Spent, 10 years doing it, I guess. Then broke my back in Afghanistan in 12.
How'd you break it?
It's a stupid injury. Real stupid. I've been blown up. I've been shot. I've been in more gunfights than anybody I know. And I've never gotten hurt. So I've got a mission one day in Afghanistan. This is a place called Herat. It's up on the border of Iran. Actually, our hotel that we took over, we're building a consulate there. That's why we were there. Our hotel that we took over was only about 2 miles from Iran. and our cell phones went through Iran. That's where we got our cell service from. That's crazy, right? But so I'm walking I had a mission that day, and I usually go and work out at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I wake up early, and I'd run, do my thing, and I'd eat breakfast, and I'd go back to my room, take a shower, and then we're going to work. You know, almost daylight, time to go to work. It's dark in the stairwell. It's all marble stairs. Everything's marble.
Slick.
It's very slick. Some yahoo spilled water on marble stairs, and I fell down 12 of them.
God.
And jacked my back up. I didn't even know it at first. I got up. I had a Dr. Pepper. Those are hard to come by over there. I'm telling you, I didn't drop that thing. I kept it in my hand. I get back to my room, and I'm taking a shower, and I'm trying to wash the soap off of me. It's real slick water. It's hard to get the soap off. And I'm trying to get soap off. I can't feel my legs. I'm like, wait a second. I don't feel that. You know, it's weird. So I call my doc. He's a Navy SEAL combat medic. And he's an actual doctor, too. He went to medical school. This guy comes to my room and starts testing me, looking at my legs, and he took a tongue depressor, broke it off, and scraped my leg with it. And where do you start have feeling again? And it was all the way down to my knee before I could feel anything. And he said, well, he traced it back to certain nerves and whatnot, and they sent me home for, 2 weeks later. A week later. Let me stay a week to see if it get better. And just maybe it's some kind of weird, inflammation or something like that from the fall. Had to do an MRI, and then, had surgery for a year, that year, and it took 2 years to get over. But once I healed up, I was fine.
What'd you do during the 2 years?
I sat on my butt, not doing anything. I didn't like it. I can't. I'm not one that can sit still very long. And they had me so drugged up, though, I didn't know where I was at half the time.
For the 2 years?
It was bad. I mean, it's to the point where I fired one of the doctor that they had me going to. They said, well, you picked him. I said, nope, y'all picked him. I'm firing him. I'm done. This guy's trying to kill me. He's got me, every time I go in there, puts me on more medicine, and I can't do it. I can't even get off the couch as it is, So I fired this guy and went to Dr. Ford, Dennis Ford here in town. I told him I need to be off this stuff as fast as possible. And I wanted to be off it in 30 days. That's what I told him. Yeah. He said, it's going to take 8 or 9 months. It's going to take that long to wean you off of it. I went a couple of months with him. And I said, screw this. And I just quit cold turkey.
Was it bad?
Worst 15 days of my life.
How did it feel?
Hot, cold.
What drug did they have you on?
Fentanyl, oxycodone, hydrocodone, Lyrica, Valium.
You're not supposed
Toradol,
to be here.
all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was bad.
So you tried to wean it off?
I did it myself. I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too slow, and I don't want to do this. So I went my way, and I just said cold turkey. I told my wife just to check on me, stay away from me. I'm going to be mean, I'm pretty sure. Mean anyway, so just stay away. Yeah. Just check on me, make sure I got food and water, and I'll suffer through it. And it was sweat, then freezing for 15 days. You think it was trying to get out of your system? Yeah, that's what it was, just purging out of your system.
What about the habit? Did you still have the habit? Or?
No. Once 15 days was up, I didn't have any. I felt great after that. No, didn't want anything to do with it.
That fentanyl's bad stuff.
It's bad stuff, yeah. Well, listen, that was the patch. I had a patch that they had me on. And that patch was, it'd take the life out of you. I'm just telling you, you didn't feel pain. It worked, but you just didn't have anything left. I felt my soul leaving. You know what I'm saying? I felt my life was just pulling away from my body. It was just crazy. Dead? Just felt dead inside.
Is fentanyl better for pain than the oxy?
It's stouter. It's stronger. But you don't feel like this high feeling. When these people take hydrocodones or oxycodones, they feel high. That's why they're addicted to it. With fentanyl, they do it another way. I don't know now. They do it in pills and stuff. I don't know how they do this stuff. Actually, I haven't researched it much. I just know it's bad. 1 grain of that stuff by itself can kill you if you're not careful.
That's what they say, yeah.
And when they put it in a patch, the patch it's just a little tiny patch. It's got it somehow infused into it. And it only releases a certain amount into your system at a time through transdermally. So the fentanyl, the fentanyl's bad. It's just bad all the way around. But you don't feel pain, but you don't feel high or anything either. You can go about your day if you're on just a small dose. But the problem is you're never on just a small dose, because eventually that small dose isn't enough to get rid of the pain. They have to keep going up and up and up. It's the same with all pain relievers. Anything to do with opiates, if you take it, your body gets used to it. Then you have to raise the dose. Right. So if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to be on pain medicine, you better come off of it for a time, ever so often.
So
your body
will still,
right,
small
be
amount
effective.
will still be effective.
Right.
Let me tell you about Capstar Bank. They're located in Nashville, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Athens, Madisonville, Sweetwater, Etowah, and in Cleveland at 950 25th Street and 3855 North Ocoee Street. I've used them. I like them. Give them a try. They're no problem.
Fentanyl, all that crap is bad. What I noticed was now when I went to Dr. Ford, he's a friend. I love this guy. Him and his wife Beth are just amazing. And so he wants people off medicine. He doesn't want them on it, even though he does that pain type stuff for people. It's not a good thing, and he tries to keep people minimized on what they're doing. But he told me 8-9 months to wean me off, and I quit cold turkey, and it worked out great for me. Now a lot of people don't have that drive to do it. I'm hard-headed, and
you had the ability to stay in for 15 days.
Right. I'm laid up. I'm not doing anything anyway. And so day 16, I get up, and I'm just like I am normal. I felt great, and then life went on. I got released from the doctor, and I didn't get released right away. So I didn't get released till that summer of 14. But so I told my wife, I was sitting in the tub. We had a jetted tub, and I was trying to get my back to stop hurting. That's when I was still on the medicine. I was sitting in there. I've been binge watching sci-fi.
Is this cord making a noise?
I've been binge watching sci-fi TV shows on like the internet.
Yeah. And
I saw a show called Farscape. Had this Ben Browder was in it. He's a guy from Memphis, and they filmed it in with Jim Henson's Creature Shop down in Australia. But the other co-stars were all Australian. And there was a girl named Claudia Black in it. And I saw on Twitter she made a comment about something, and I just commented about what I saw in this little episode, right? Yeah. Well, she sent me a message. I thought that's cool, you know. And I thought, all right. So I told her I was going to be an actor too. I thought I'm just going to do it. Yeah. I've been trained by the best. I can be anybody I want to be. The State Department. Yeah. And I've been in Arab. I put a man dress on and they didn't know the difference. I don't speak Arabic, but that's what it is. So I went straight from that to taking 3. I walked on as an extra and ended up getting a role in a movie. As a police officer.
Now back up. So you.
I just came off the medicine, and I was still actually, just. You
just texted. You just.
I said,
Twitter.
I didn't message her. I made a comment on her Twitter feed.
Just.
And she responded back.
And said. And
I started that little dialogue with her about acting. Well, guess what? Funny thing. So I did that little show, and then I did Insurgent.
No. Start from the beginning. So after you got in a little dialogue with her, you said, I'm going to be up there?
I said, I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to go into it, I don't know exactly what I said because, again, I was a little bit out of my head with the medicine. I just hadn't come off of it yet.
So what was your first step?
My first step, so what I did was, there's on Facebook, if you go on there and look for casting and stuff like that, I saw a lady named Tammy Smith who was casting Taken 3. Now, I didn't know it was Taken 3. It didn't time.
Where was that at?
It's in Atlanta. They're filming in Atlanta.
I can drive
there. Yeah. So they wanted real police officers. So I said, okay, I can do this. I sent her, a selfie, headshot, and told her I was a real police officer, that kind of thing. And next thing you know, I got an email back from her, and she said, like to come down and book you for these 2 days, for 2 days only. In Atlanta.
How many people were there for that?
Gosh dang, man. They had, so when you go to Extras Holding, it's like a corral, right? And there's like a bunch of people, and they're all doing different things. But so I walk in, and everybody automatically says, you're a real police officer, right? I'm like, you know, it's crazy. Do I look like that? I kept thinking, do I have something written on my head?
You look like a police officer.
Well, so I said, okay, I'll go with that. And so some props girl was giving me my guns and stuff and equipment, and said, she goes, "You top cast a lot?" I said, "This is the first time I ever did this. I mean, I've been in another movie, but that was for birds way back in '99. I
didn't count.
I was kind of specially taken care of. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
They treated me like one of the cast members, and I didn't do anything for myself. They all walked me around and did things for me. I didn't know what I was doing. I just had birds out there, and I did.
So you really had no experience.
No experience, none. I just watched them a little bit, right? And when it doing a little thing for one of the cameras, right? And Tim Blake Nelson was the director on this. Oh, Brother Warthdale, he was Delmar. And
so you saw him, Delmar.
Yeah. It's before he did that.
Yeah.
The year before. And so he said, all right, I want you to do this. And I'm like there, and I'm staring right at that camera. I can't not look at that camera for some reason. I just get staring at it, you know. And he said, no, don't look at the camera. I'm like, okay. And I'm doing my thing. There, I'm right back at the camera, you know. Can't not look at that camera. I've done a lot of stuff on TV for like the news channel and stuff, but I've never acted. Yeah. And so it's strange. But anyway, it's a long story about how this transpired. So I go to this Taken 3, and next thing you know, I go in there, and the first day I didn't get out holding. We sat in holding the whole day. They're supposed to be filming for like 2-3 weeks there. Yeah. And then they're going to another country to film, or back to LA. I'm sorry, back to LA. That's where they're going. And so I did nothing that first day. Second day, I'm in there again. I'm there at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're shooting till after midnight that night.
But you're just sitting there.
No, I sat there for about an hour. And next thing you know, they said, "Hey, I need you." And there's other guys that are supposed to be police officers or playing police officers, but never done it. One guy had done it, but he was a jailer. So he wasn't really a cop. Yeah. And but all these people say they're real cops, but they're not. So we go, and they walk me down this hallway, and I walk up to Liam Neeson standing there. He goes, "Hi, I'm Liam Neeson," shakes my hand. And I said, like I didn't know that. Yeah. You know? And he goes, "You're Dale, the police officer, right?" And I said, he didn't say Dale Liner. He just said, "You're Dale, the police officer." I said, "Yeah, okay, cool. He knows who I am." And then Forrest Whitaker comes out. We talk for a minute, and they tell us what they want us to do. And we run around chasing him around this school till after midnight that night. I mean, literally, it filmed a little bit here, and then you move down the hallway and keep doing it. It took a long time to get 3 seconds of film, you know, a whole day. And so the last shot, and I was doing really good apparently, because the last shot that night, the last I say last shot, they had to do it like a dozen times, but it's where they have the water coming. He throws a flashbang into. If you ever watched the movie, he throws a flashbang into the closet, and it sets off the water, the fire suppression system. All the water comes down, and all these students run out, and they're all sliding around, you know, getting wet and everything. So that's us. We're running through there looking for him. He's trying to just put distance between us and him, me and Forrest Whitaker, and he's trying to get away. So we got wet like a dozen times. They dry us off and dry the thing up and do it again, you know. Well, the last shot, we were almost to the end, and I ran through, and I was pushing kids out of the way. I was being a little rough on them. They're little extras. I shouldn't do that, right? But I was trying to make it right, because I was tired, man. It's 16 hours. I'm tired. Yeah. Time to go home. I got to drive back to Cleveland. Yeah. And so I did a real good job, and the director's like, "That's perfect." Guy comes up, he's a French dude. Comes up, and he hugs me, and I'm thinking, "Oh God, he's going to kiss me too." I don't know what to do about this, you know. But he was real nice. Well, I did such a good job. They gave me a little bit more, and I come back. For 3 weeks I was there filming. I got to arrest the guy and everything.
And that was Taken
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Who is the main star in that?
Liam Neeson and Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. And
was
then
now Liam had Johansson girl in that.
No, she's in Black Widow, and I've been in a couple of movies of her. Captain America: Civil War, I did it.
Black
Widow did it right before they shut us down. So what happened with this was it led to the next thing was Insurgent. And I walked on to it, and just happened to be a guy I knew when I was young in the Marine Corps. This guy, I met him way back, and I also met him another time in life.
Was anybody in that?
And he was doing our training for this boot camp, and he knew who I was, and so that met. Because he knew who I was, he like, oh yeah, I was good for everything, right? And so I got in this and did some stunts and whatnot too, and was their military advisor. I ended up being one of their military advisors for the movie, and I was in all over this movie. You see me in different places. Put like goggles on me one time to try to change my look, you know, and next time I had this little headband thing on. Like, but you can't miss his hair, you know. But we had a good time, and that led to another thing, and to another thing. Then what happened next was really funny. Where I got my SAG card when I got in the Actors Union was.
So you had to be in the Actors Union?
I wasn't then. I was just a military advisor for these things. I was getting paid less than everybody else because I wasn't in the union. And
is the union pretty strong?
Yeah, it's pretty strong. I mean, I've been in it since 2015. So.
And it's out of Los Vegas, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But it's anybody.
It's SAG-AFTRA is all the actors are in it. So yeah, you get.
If you want to, if you're
going to go anywhere, you got to be in the union. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And so to be in the union, you have to be tafted into it or do certain things to get in. So it's kind of
and
a ordeal.
Pay dues,
and pay dues every year, right?
Are they high?
Nah, it's not that bad. Not for what you make, you know. It's not bad.
But you got to keep them up.
Got to keep them up, yeah.
Or you won't.
You'll get paid, right? You'll get paid. You just won't get the benefits. Yeah. I've got insurance and everything through it. So my family covers insurance for me and my wife. I think we pay $500 between us for every 3 months.
And that's because you're in the Actors Union.
Right. And
so it's worth that even if you're not acting.
Absolutely.
What if you quit acting? As long as
you'll lose it. you got to make so much a year.
So it's almost.
You have to make so much money a year to be able to be eligible for the insurance.
Oh, how much is it?
I don't remember. It's like maybe it was 30. There were certain levels. One time it was 19,000. And then that was the lowest level, and then you get the better insurance at 36. I've been at the higher level every year.
So you'd almost have to say, I got to be in this. I got to be in this movie so I can get paid, so I can keep my insurance.
Hey, and you know what? They use that for some actors too. If the actor hasn't worked in a while, they'll say, look, you'll get paid X amount of dollars. And they'll make a deal with them to get paid so they get in the union, or so they'll get their dues paid, and they'll get the insurance. That's kind of what producers do that, you know.
That's one of those things the average person would have no clue about.
Right. Well, it's a learning process. So I go on to this other show called Containment. It's actually the one that was filmed like a virus outbreak in Atlanta. This was back in 2015, and
Ebola, was that Ebola?
It was just some weird virus that somebody came up with, right? Is a man-made virus, apparently. I watched the series once. I couldn't do it no more. It's terrible. I wouldn't. If I hadn't been in it, I wouldn't have watched it. So I'm standing there talking to one of my buddies. We're doing the pilot, and we're doing stunts for this. I'm doing stunts at this time where I'm playing a National Guard soldier, and we're supposed to come out of this container and knock people down and crap. And we're going to lock this place down, and it's done. They're all stuck in this little contained area. They've got the virus. They're stuck there. Patient zero's in there, and we're just not going to let it get out, right? So I'm standing there talking. I'm at the crafts table, and he's asking me how I got involved in this stuff. I told him about Claudia Black. And I'm eating some candy or something, had a drink, and next thing I know, I hear somebody talking behind me, and I turn around, and freak, that's Claudia Black. She's in this thing. I didn't know that. And he goes, go get a picture with her. I said, no, I ain't that guy. I don't do that. You know, I'm not going to do that. Well, they call us to set. Well, Claudia and her little friends, she had her little girlfriends with her, go out there, and they're standing in this container that, where they come out. And she wants to get somebody to take her picture. She said, hey, will you take my picture with my friends here? I said, okay. So I took her picture, like she asked, several shots. And the director's still yelling for me to be on set. Yeah. I could hear him back there with a big bullhorn. And she goes, hey, let me get a picture of you. And I said, okay. Like, sure, go ahead. Yeah. I said it to my wife. She goes, oh, your girlfriend's there, huh? I said, no. That girl, she's so skinny, man. It's like this. I was like, oh, Lord help her.
Was that when she had the colored hair?
She has black hair, she had black hair back then. She's got blonde hair now.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently she's naturally blonde. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it started. And now I've do more coming up this next month. So we'll move forward from that. But you want to talk about birds, all right?
Yeah, but this acting what do you have to you have to put your mind. I mean, you hadn't had any real long, scenes where
It's always everything's broken up.
Yeah. So if you ever had to
Go up, do a long, long dialogue.
like Will Smith, he was in that one movie
Right.
with you, right?
Right. And Will's a good guy. He don't, no matter what anybody says, he's an awesome person. I'm telling you, the guy that doesn't sound like him to me. Everything. I mean, I spent time with him, a lot of time with him, and
Is he a regular guy?
yes, but he's one of these guys that I'll tell you something about him. This is kind of humanitarian this fellow is. So these people that make these movies, the production people, they don't get paid a lot. They're doing it because they want to be there, and they're working long, hard hours. I mean, a lot of times, 16 hours in a day, and they're on their feet. It's not easy. So every Friday, the production will do like a little drawing. You can put like a couple bucks in and buy a ticket to be drawn at the end of the day, and whatever the pot is at the end of the day, whoever they draw their name, they win the pot. It might be $1,000, might be $2,000. Well, one day I was on set for that Friday, and they're doing this, and Will's on set too. We were filming all day long, and so at the end of the day, right before we wrap, they do this drawing, and Will does a drawing. He says, and the pot was $1,800, I think. He made it instead of one, he made it 4 times that, and he put his own money into it to pay to get 4 other people to be able to do it. That's how good a guy he is. He out of his pocket gave that money to 4 other people. And
Is he real tall?
He's tall. But he's a perfectionist too. The guy really is. He asked me for I mean, he'd say things that didn't make sense. As a police officer when we were doing the show, and it was written in this is a script. This is what's written. And he said it doesn't sound right to me. He calls for me to, hey, what would you say in this situation? And I'd tell him what I'd say.
Yeah.
The little redneck Dale way.
Yeah.
It's like he'd say it this way, and he'd do it that way, and it came off great. I mean, there's a lot of my words in his mouth that come out of that movie.
He's a great actor.
He's a good actor.
He'll go down as one of the best.
Well, I think he is, and I say he'll be in the next one too.
He's the Tom Hanks level, isn't he?
I think he's better. Tom's good, but I think Will's got more
As far
range.
as being versatile,
I think he's got a lot of range. Tom Hanks got a lot of range too, though. You could play Forrest Gump, and he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have range.
but I liked Will best in that movie. 12 Years a Slave.
That was great.
And that other one where he gives that speech to his son at the end. I can't think of the name.
After Earth.
No.
Which one?
No.
You talking about where he did? There's a younger version of him.
No, he's playing that guy the real life story of the guy that ended up on his own stock brokerage firm.
Yes, I remember.
What's the name?
I can't remember.
What's the name of that, Gwen?
He's like he was. Yes, he had hair then, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
I can't think of the name of it. It was one that was.
He told his son,
strictly
he said,
acclaimed,
don't you ever let anybody tell you
right.
you can't do something, not even me.
Right, but that's the kind of stuff he does. But I'll tell you something else though. So I on the last big movie I did was The Suicide Squad, and I was their military advisor for 7 months. I got a call after we did last. I wrapped Bad Boys for Life in the end of I think first of no, it was the end of March of that year of 19, right? Mm-hmm. And I just retired. Doug Boucher, my best friend, had just died. I think I retired March. He died on his birthday, December 31st. I retired January 1st and was going full time into acting. I'd already been planning it for a while, but Doug, I told him I'd hang out until things either got better or didn't. So we come up to, I want to say, January the 10th. I get a phone call. They need honor guard for this movie for Bad Boys. Mm-hmm. So I called Heath Arthur. Heath, he works here at the sheriff's office. He runs the honor guard. I said, Heath, you want to get your guys in a movie? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, get me some people, and we're filming these days. Make sure everybody's off. Clear it through Steve. Mm-hmm. He did, and I got him down there, and we were on a movie. And Heath was going to be the guy in charge of the honor guard, and he was. He set this whole thing up. I don't know honor guard stuff. I'm not an honor guard guy. Yeah. He does.
It's very specific.
Very specific. And so there's a guy from Atlanta that was there. I'm telling this story, Heath. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to listen to it again. I give him a hard time about it because it's a tragic thing. So there's a guy that was from Atlanta, but he's supposed to be over the honor guard. And he didn't know anything about honor guard. He's supposed to be their honor guard leader, but he doesn't know anything. So they asked me to do it. And I'm like, well, I got the expert right here, you know. And Heath we organize it. Heath plans it all out. We're going to do it this way. We get it all worked out. And, buddy, we're set up to do it, right? He's calling out the orders. I got Heath on one end. I'm hiding because I know I'm going to be doing some stuff later on for the movie. I don't want to be seen right here. Yeah. I'm kind of hiding behind Aubrey Romanger. Yeah. And Aubrey's in it too, you know. So I'm hiding back there, and we get everything in order. It's time to roll. Heath has to pee. Poor guy has to go to the bathroom. He's been holding it for hours. You know, we're in a cemetery. And I mean, look, there's a rock over there, Bill Rock. I just got down hiding. Everybody's looking that way. Will Smith's over there. They're not looking at me. And I do what I have to do when I have to do it. Well, Heath goes to the bathroom. There's somebody in there just not coming out. And I can see the bathroom port. It's really a trailer, but there's a line. And he's right there, but 20 minutes. And then the director comes down there and the producer and says, well, we're ready to go. Now, who's going to be calling out the orders? Because I told him he got to call out the orders. That means Heath will get a contract. He'll be actually be in a SAG after that. He'll be tafted into it. Because he's calling out the orders. It's his voice. Heath didn't show up. I said, he's up there at the back. He'll be right here. We got to go now. Who can do it besides him? I'm like, oh, crap. You know. And so I said, well, the guy next to him is going to be the only one that can do it because that's where we're set up, that direction to do it. And so they used that guy from Atlanta to call out the orders. He kept messing up. They gave him a contract, everything, so Heath missed out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, first time. Well, that's the second time. But yeah, so we got through this whole thing, but I went all the way through March with this, right? Every week through March, and then we had the Suicide Squad. A friend of mine who was Captain America's producer, he calls me. He's also the first AD. He calls and says, hey, what are you doing this summer? I said, nothing. He said, hey, I got something for you. Come down to Pinewood and let's talk. I said, okay. So I went down there the next day and signed contracts, got everything. I was in the Suicide Squad. But, so I designed a lot of this. They gave me the script. They gave me some things to go over and change wording. And I did a little bit of tweaking here and there. And just like you'd expect somebody to do to make things right. And the last week of filming, I'm in the movie now. I'm going to be acting. So they put my doggone chair. I come in there one day, and they've got a chair with my name on it between Idris Elba and Viola Davis. Now, that's kind of daunting.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it was kind of daunting. Yeah. You know, so I'm sitting here thinking, this is not right, y'all. Y'all put the pressure on me. You know, so I'm trying to talk to the people I've been working with for the whole last 7 months, and they won't even talk to me hardly. And I'm like, what is wrong? Why don't you guys talk? Well, you're one of the actors now. We can't talk to you unless you talk to us. And I'm like, well, I'm talking to you. I need to know what the crap's going on. You know? So, so it was interesting. Viola was a fantastic lady. She has had problems just like everybody else. She has a teenage daughter, and I heard her more than one time tell her husband what to do about something on the phone. And but yeah, she can still out a string of cuss words like nobody ever saw. Stop in the middle and come right back with the same intensity and kick it on out. And she said she gave me some advice I won't say on this because it's kind of bad. It's good advice. It's just not something you say in this kind of stuff.
Do actors have? Is there a certain personality they all have?
No, look, I've seen all types. I don't think it's a
because
type A
in
or
my
type
business,
B.
roofers have same personality. Carpenters are different. Electricians,
right.
But is actors different?
They have to be versatile. It's hard to pick really. You know, so I would say that's a. I see different types of personalities, and it depends on what characters they play really. And you never really play a character. You're really just doing yourself. This is another version of yourself. You know, it's how you would act in a certain situation. There's a guy named Jeff Seymour. There's a guy.
Say that again.
It's another version of yourself, how you would act in a certain situation. So there's a guy that I took a couple of classes, a few classes from. I call him a friend. He's a good guy, and he's been around for a long time. He used to be in Hill Street Blues back in the day. His name's Jeff Seymour. He teaches a class. He likes to teach when he does act, but he's in a lot of stuff. Jeff his thing is he calls himself the real life actor. And I went to one of his. He had a little free class one day in Atlanta for all the local actors come to, and he's going to do an intensive weekend class like a few weeks later, just giving them a taste of it. If they want to come, they can. You have to pay for the weekend class. So I went to both, and you know, his thing is if you look at, he's got a book. It's online, The Real Life Actor. It's great. It teaches you. I mean, it says a lot of what I already believed about acting. It's the same what I did when I was in Iraq. If I had to be somebody else, hey, these people didn't know who I was.
I guess we all act during the day.
Yeah. So I mean, if I need to be when I met General Petraeus the first time, the guy didn't even know my real name. I had to play somebody else in front of him. You know.
Yeah.
But the long story of it is that everybody has something in them that for each situation you're going to act a certain way. And that's all I do. I just tap into that. And that's exactly what these other guys do. So if you're a type B personality, you're a little more passive instead of an A, you know, and you play you're usually playing a role that's not going to be aggressive, you know, you're going to do whatever's right for that person.
Can a B-type personality play in an A-type role?
I've never seen somebody not do it. I've seen these guys that are really passive actually be pretty aggressive and pretty.
So that's and they're just acting out the way they would be in that situation.
Right.
Rather than changing.
Right. So there's a guy. Give you an example. There's a guy I was in Sergeant with. And he was in the first movie I did, Othello. Trying to think of his name. He's a black kid. I'll come back to that in a minute. Anyway, but this kid.
What year did you first go to Atlanta for that? 2014.
So
you've been in how many?
I don't know, 40 maybe, 42.
Golly.
Yeah, so and 2 more here soon.
In less than 10 years.
Yeah. But it takes, you know, usually people say it's about 6 years before you really start getting anything. I've had 3 breaks in my career. I say 3 breaks where I've stepped away from it just for a minute because I got other things going. First, I was on fire. I mean, I literally was on every movie I wanted to be on. From 2014, from 2014 to 15, I was on Captain America, the last one. Then Eric Watson calls me and says, hey, I need some help. Can you come to work full time? And I thought, well, I'm getting close to 5 years out of this thing. I better do if I'm going to stay certified. So I went back to work at the sheriff's office full time. He said, oh, you can leave and go do movies whenever you need to. Never worked out that way because they're always short-handed. Nobody can take off, you know. So I passed up a lot of movies between 2015 and 2019. I passed up a lot of stuff. I do 1 or so a year, but I wouldn't. I got offered for a lot more. I just couldn't do it because I couldn't get off work. And instead of just quitting like I should have done.
If you had to do it all over again, would you just said?
I couldn't. But see, I say my friend Doug got sick. He got cancer, stage 4 liver. We had a snowstorm. I can't remember the time. I think it was like right at December of 2018. No, sorry, it was December 2018. Yes, December 2018. No, 2017. He's in a 4-wheel wreck, right? Hurt his rib, thought he broke a rib. He goes to the hospital. They x-ray it. He's got a thing on his liver, and they see it in the x-ray. And so, stage 4, right? He lasts all the way through 18 and got really sick. I mean, almost died right there in June of 18. And I told him I wouldn't do anything. I'd stay there, you know, and hang out until something gets either better or not. And I waited until he was it wasn't going to happen. I told him about maybe 3 weeks before he passed it. I think it was 3 weeks. Might have been a month. But anyway, I told him somewhere in that neighborhood, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I said I'm retiring January 1st. And I said, don't be a dingleberry and die before that, you know. Yeah. But he did. He died a day before that. And when I retired, you know, I was ready to go. I'm going back into it full time, and I worked 300 days on set that year. 300 days I was working on a movie set.
Out of town, different places.
All over, yeah. Mostly Atlanta, but and it's only a 2-hour drive, man. It's not that far. Yeah. People always like, oh, how do you do that drive? Well, if you live in L.A., it's a 2-hour drive to L.A. You know?
There's a lot of filming done in Atlanta.
It's the biggest place in the country right now.
I wouldn't. More than Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Just more money, and it's a cheaper place to film. They get more incentives for their movies.
But under the same union.
Yeah, it's a very complicated. It's very complicated. So each state can give back a certain incentive. So if they save 10% on a movie, that might be a $100 million movie. That's $10 million. You know,
I was looking on there. Was some of these movies like Taken? Wasn't it like a 100, 200?
It made a fortune. I can look it up. Worldwide, it was.
Or what was the budget?
It was 100 and something million, I think, for that budget for Taken 3.
On the courthouse square at 30 2nd Street is the law firm of Logan Thompson Law. Since 1965, they have served the legal needs for the good citizens of Cleveland-Bradley County. If you've got a problem, they're no problem. Give them a call.
So in O, Mekhi Phifer was a young actor, and he couldn't play basketball. It was a basketball movie. He had a hard time.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If you listen to this, Mekhi, just sorry. He's supposed to, when they do a scene and you shoot, you're supposed to make it, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's supposed to go in the basket.
Yeah.
And we had to do reshoots and constantly because people couldn't shoot a basketball. And so
they're playing a
basketball game,
yeah.
right? And so and he had to slam it. Of course, they put a trampoline out there for him to jump up and get it to that. So I didn't ever say anything to him. I was not, but he always sit off like this, just kind of hanging out by the crash table. He would never say or talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, I said maybe 2 words to the guy the whole time. Well, I'm on Insurgent years later. I mean, a long time later. This was '99. This is Insurgent's 2014. Mm-hmm. And so that's what 15 years. I'm on Insurgent. I'm dressed in this soldier erudite dauntless soldier costume, and I'm walking down the set there. I'm actually, I think I was trying to find a bathroom is what I was doing. But mm-hmm. I'm walking through there and I see Mekhi Phifer come. He sees me. He comes running out. Birdman. I'm like, shit. This guy knows who I am. He wouldn't say 2 words to me on this other movie, mm-hmm. and he's like hugging on me and everything. What are you doing here? Because he was brand new and scared to death.
Oh.
I think that's what it was. He had a hard time. Lines are scary. When you have a tough time with lines anyway, remembering what to say, how to say it,
and you make everybody mad if you mess it up.
And I know there's some actors, and I won't name their names, that there's terrible with lines.
What about Charlotte Johansson? You saw her in person?
Yeah. She bumped into me. Ran right into me once. Bounced off of me, almost knocked herself to the ground.
Bet you hated that.
It was terrible. She. So we were filming down in Atlanta for Captain America.
She tall?
No.
Is that right?
Yeah, about 5 foot 1 or something. Really little. So we're filming on this railroad yard down there in Atlanta, the southeast side. I can't tell you where it's at. I don't know exactly the name of it. I just follow directions when they tell me where to go. And so I'm down there filming. We're doing Captain America: Civil War. Anthony Mackie's a Falcon, and he's flying in and landing on this thing. I'm trying to tell him something. He's just give me advice on what to do. That's what my job was, and tell a superhero how to do his job, right? But there's these people, these gigantic lenses on cameras. They're taking pictures for TMZ or something, and they're on the bridge. I mean, it looked like a half mile away. I could see them, but they're way the heck out there. Apparently, she didn't want her picture taken. And they got a picture of me. It showed up on TMZ that day, talking to Mackie, trying to give him some advice on. So he asked me a question. Yeah. And he likes to cut up anyway. The guy loves to cut up. Yeah. That guy's never met a stranger. I'm telling you. So I'm walking around the corner, and here she comes running and bounces right off of me. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. She was trying to get away from those people, the paparazzi taking pictures, and she was just there for one scene, and her stunt double for that was a girl named Crystal Hooks. Crystal's rides motorcycles like nobody else, and she's really good with them. And Crystal always did the stunt stuff for motorcycles. She's probably the best stunt person on a motorcycle for girls.
About all these actors that do scenes like that have doubles, don't they?
Yeah, they all. Yeah. So if you see Captain America, Chris Evans, you see him. If he's not got his little thing off his head, that's not him. I'm serious. If it's usually his stunt double, Sam Hargrave. He's the stunt coordinator for that movie.
Yeah.
And Sam's just real beefy, and Chris is long and thin, kind of. Takes Chris a little bit extra work to put on some muscle. Sam's not that way, but so if you see the fight scenes, usually it's Sam.
You ever think you'll get a leading role?
There's no telling.
I mean,
I don't know.
What would be the odds?
I don't know.
It would have to
I don't
be.
know. It's just the right place, right time, or right thing. You know.
Or the right budget.
It could be
or
right.
the right.
It could be anything. Yeah. I mean,
Do they ever get a big movie and they're going to say, well, we can get this guy or we can get this guy. They're both about the same, but this guy will do it for
half
$1
the
million
price,
and this guy will do it for $2 million. Let's
right,
get him.
Right.
There's not that
I'm
much
sure.
difference.
I'm sure it's that way. But they take so it's also about scheduling. I tell you right now, the guy that has a hard time with scheduling, he's always working, is John Cena. When we did Suicide Squad, that was the guy everybody had to work around. We had to schedule everything around his schedule because he was one that was doing stuff all the time. And
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to.
and he's a comical guy.
And you wouldn't want an actor coming out on the same 3 months for the same
Same
movie.
movies, right? You stagger, but I mean, and Cena does a lot of stuff though. I mean, he's a good actor. Believe it or not, he's not just a big guy. Well, so I had to go through some shooting with him, right? I had to teach him how to look. God knows how to shoot, but he's big. He's so big, he doesn't look right with a gun. You got to have a big gun to make him look right. And so I had him at a warehouse one day at Pinewood, one of the back warehouses. We set up a bunch of boxes, a little shoot house I made for him to go through and sorry about that. Go through and shoot. Time to get up. And so we're out there I had him for like 3 hours, and 3 hours it was not enough really. He needed more, but look, it's time to go home that day, right? So we're out there waiting for a van to come pick him up, and I've got a little Chevy Spark that I drive back and forth at 40 miles a gallon. You know, I like driving that car. I always try to see if I can get like 43 or 44 on it. And it's this big, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, can you give me a ride back to the office? I said, you're not going to fit. You can sit in the back seat, put your legs over the front seat, I guess. I said, you're not going to fit in that car. And
You ever go eat lunch with these stars?
I haven't done that with any of them. Will ate with Will. Chris ate with him a few times, but usually just right there on set, you know.
What does he eat?
Just everything. Everybody eats the same stuff. Usually it's salmon or something.
It's catered or something?
Yeah, it's always catered. Yeah, it's always good food. Most of these actors will eat something that's
What
low
flip
fat.
out if Will Smith said, pass the salt?
Pass the salt, pepper. All right. Yeah. So this guy that's in the Suicide Squad, his name's Steve Agee. He's a comedian, but he's a big guy. He plays John Economist, whatever in this movie, and he's a funny guy, right? He's a big guy. I think he lived with his mom or something in L.A. But his mom passed recently. But so when I first got the first day on set there, he and I and a few others were sitting eating, and we're just talking. And he said, "I like rock climbing." And, you know, I'm like, "How are you going to climb a rock as big as you are?" You know, that's how I'm thinking that to myself. He's a big guy. And said, "Yeah, I used to rock climb in Chattanooga. We have a place up there off Lookout Mountain." And he was wanting to come up and do some rock climbing and stuff. We never have time, you know. When I was doing the movie Captain America, we had Robert Downey Jr. and he hung out with me talking for a day. We were just hanging out down there on set. He wasn't even supposed to be on set that day. He just came to hang out. And we're talking about doing some kind of gun thing where he could take a gun apart for somebody for the scene. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And he's like, "Hey, you're in Chattanooga, right? What if I come up and spend a day? Is there anything for little kids?" Because he's got a kid and his wife. And I said, "Yeah, I got the aquarium, but we have time.
Yeah.
We're filming. We got a tight schedule.
Yeah.
And we never did get it to happen, but that's the way it works.
It'd be hard for him to go any place like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. It's just like everybody knows who people are.
Yeah.
And,
Is he a big guy?
No, he's just maybe an inch taller than me.
Is that right? He looks so big on TV, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what's funny, though. In that Iron Man outfit, he's wearing these lifted shoes. They had to put him in these lifted shoes to make the Iron Man thing fit him. And, it's crazy.
My wife likes him.
He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He really is a nice guy. He talks to people easy to get along with. He's always trying to do it right, and he's a
Now,
nice
which
guy.
film was it where Ralphie from The Sopranos was on?
Oh Lord, I'm not sure. I can't remember.
It was a film you were in.
I can't remember the
remember
name
which
of it.
one it was. but I saw him there. He had a
Right.
mustache
Right,
on,
right.
and had
There's
him
a-
looking different.
Right, and there's no telling. I can't recall. I say it's if things are starting to run together with these movies. You know, I say I watch them one time and I don't watch them after that.
Yeah, and you're doing them in pieces, so
Right.
you're not really.
We're not
watching
always
the show.
there at the same
You're just-
time, right? And I don't like I say I just when I'm in a movie, it's usually or a TV show, it's usually just a you know, mine might be filmed on a certain day, and they may not even be on set that day.
Do you think that you conjured this up as far as did you perceive it happening before it happened? You know what
Well,
I'm
I always
saying?
knew I'd do something like this when I was young. I mean, you know, it just. I mean, look, I always did things that were different.
But I mean, do you?
Have I not?
Do you see them in reality in order to make them come true? Does that make
Well,
sense?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean,
some people do that.
Well, I mean, I just pray about things a lot of times, and it usually works out for me. I'll tell you, I mean, I'm just flat out honest, and this is how I see it. It's always worked this way. When I think something needs to happen, or I ask for something to happen, and it's timing's everything, right? Mm-hmm. But when I retired from the sheriff's office, I was in a place in my life that I had to do something different because I had the most exciting life. I've lived more than most people live in 5 lifetimes. I really have. And I went from this high energy, just testosterone flowing everywhere. You know, we were the best teams in the world, best special operations teams in the world. That's what I work for. The special operations of State Department ground branch is the best, right? Everybody that retires from the military, their goal is, if I say they retire, their goal is, if they stay in this work, they have to go to something like what we were doing, right? The high threat teams. And, you know, I've jumped out of airplanes. I've done this. I've done that. I've been everywhere in the world. I've been on every continent except Antarctica over the years. Mm-hmm. And so with all my time, that energy, and then you go back to you can't do anything for 2 solid years. You're just sitting on a couch and you're trying, you know, my wife, thank God, I've got such a great wife. Heather's the best.
She sticks with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do everything
and
together.
It's obvious.
Yeah, we run, we do this, we do that, we hike, we're always together. And so if it hadn't been for her, you know, if I'd been by myself, I'd lost my life. I mean, there's no way my head would have imploded, you know. But she would keep me busy, and we'd do things when I needed it. But so I pray about things. I say, I need this to happen. I talk about it to God, and I say, hey, I need this to happen. Please help me with this, you know. And it always works out.
So you think it's God, not speaking to the universe?
It has to be. I ain't no other way. Look, I shouldn't be here. 25,000 times over, I should have died. And it started when I was a kid. So you get that, then you get all the gunfire. I mean, I've dodged bullets so many times, I don't know how, I couldn't explain to you the things I've seen happen, and I still live through it. Without a scratch, you know, half the time. There's times that, you know, things should have happened a different way, and they didn't. And so how do I survive it? You know, you're here still, right? There's only one way to beat it. It's God's all the way. That's the only way it happens. Then, you know, we moved fast forward. I get COVID in January of last year. I know exactly how I got it. It's a certain kid sent home from school, had COVID. I didn't know this. He goes and sneaks into Walker Valley. And the SRO up there didn't recognize him. I was sitting at Sunset Cemetery doing a report. He's chasing somebody across the field now. You know, so I go up there and I see the guy, the kid, I see him trying to sneak across the field. I chase him down. And when I see he's a kid, I don't handcuff or anything. I just say, hey, you know, let's go. We walk back and we're talking. He gave up, and, you know, he's a probably 16, 17-year-old teenager. And we're talking, but we're both breathing hard. And we walk back. He gets in Charleston's police truck, and they take him back to Walker Valley to talk about what happened. That's the last I saw of him. Then they tell me when I get back there to Walker Valley, I don't know, 20 minutes later, that the kid's got COVID. That's why he sent him home from school at Bradley. Well, then 3 days later, I get a headache. It goes for a week. And then a fever for 9 days. And then I thought I was better. You know, then I go back to work for a few days and I get pneumonia. I still wasn't better yet. I had pneumonia for, 2 weeks. And once I got better from that, I'm out there, hey, dude, I am doing good. I think I'm healed up. And I go up here, and there's some girl walking around Charleston, no clothes on, apparently, up in the woods. She left her parents' house. She's 30-something years old. No shoes, no nothing on. Just had a blanket, apparently, on.
Just a nut.
Yeah, she lost her mind, I guess. But they've been looking for her all day long. So I went up there to help look. I know this area up here. I grew up there, behind Mr. Burrett's farm. And I can't catch my breath for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me. You know, I just know that I thought, well, I got an inhaler. Maybe I still got pneumonia. I'm still having the effects of it. It's been over a week since I got better. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but sorry about that. This freaking thing.
No problem.
So I didn't know at the time this had a blood clot that it broke loose, and I felt it. Well, I didn't feel it then, but apparently it was blocking some of the blood flow in my heart. And I go home, take a shower. I'm home an hour late. I got home like at 8 o'clock, take a shower. And 8:30, I'm sitting on the bed. I have no clothes on. I just got out of the shower, dried off, and I stood up to put my clothes on, and I felt this clot break loose. And it felt like a frozen piece of ice in a water hose. And I felt it hit the heart and just stop. And then 30 seconds later, it's the worst pain I ever felt in my life. The worst, by far. Thought I was dying. I made it to the couch. I told my wife, I said, call 911 and get me an aspirin. I'm having a heart attack. Exactly like that. She did exactly what I asked her. The ambulance was 35 minutes away. It was coming from Polk County. We had no ambulances around here because they're all tied up with convalescent transports, which is, we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that.
We should have, it should be a private business doing that stuff.
Vehicles ready for emergency.
Yes, only for emergencies.
Yeah.
And so Steve, the sheriff, was up there in Charleston, and I guess he heard about it, and he sent one of the deputies. It was only a mile away to pick me up and take me to the hospital.
Steve lost.
Yeah. I'm laying there on this couch. I can't see, man. I can't move my arms, and all I can think of is I got to get some underwear on. I got to get some underwear.
That's
on.
important.
I got to have underwear.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working with these people.
Yeah, at least underwear.
At least underwear. I don't care about anything else, but I got to have underwear. You know, I don't care if it's got holes in it. I need underwear.
Yeah.
And so I get underwear on, and you know, it's hard to get underwear on a sweaty body like that. You know, and so I'm there, and I hear Chris Adams come in, and Chris comes in and says, I can go get him out, we'll carry him out, and him and my wife are going to try and drag me out into the cold. And I said, no. And then I said, no, you're not. Wait on fire. They'll get here in a second. They're always right there. You know, these fire guys are really Johnny on the spot. And they always beat us to calls like that. And so they get there, and I hear a bunch of voices in my house, and they're going to try to do the same thing. I said, no, you got a backboard on that truck. Put me on it and carry me out. I don't want to be drug out. Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm still giving them orders. I'm having a heart attack here. This is what Dale, are you stupid? So they get me on a backboard. They carry me out there, but they don't think about their car. This backboard's longer than the car. They can't shut the doors. And I said, just dump me off in the back seat. Yeah. They dump me off finally. They get all these straps off me, dump me off. Chris takes off 100 miles an hour down to Nova. And he's going around these curves. And every time he hits a curve, I can't breathe. I'm like, slow down. You know, I'm telling him how to drive, even from the back seat. And,
were you still hurting at that point?
I couldn't breathe. I was the worst pain. But what happened was, when he had hit a certain, I guess it would be, a G-force I'm feeling on a curve, it would push that clot even further down, and no flow at all. I mean, I wouldn't have any flow anyway.
You thought you was going any
minute. But listen, here's the first thing I said. I prayed when I got on that couch. I prayed. I know it's probably time, but if you can let me stay a little longer, I really would appreciate it. You know, that's what I said. Yeah. And off we go. You know. So I stayed, man, and I'm here now. I laid in Tanover for 9 hours, having a heart attack. They kept telling my wife I had pneumonia. They didn't do an X-ray. They didn't do the enzyme test. They did it once. Right when I got there, it didn't show. Supposed to do it hourly. That's their protocol. When the cardiologist, nurse, practitioner came in the next morning at 6:30, she said, "Why didn't you do this?" So you started barking out orders. I heard her. They did what she told them to do, and I said, I had a heart attack. They did an X-ray, see that 2.5-inch clot blocking all the arteries in my heart in that left ventricle. And They took me to surgery, took that clot out, and didn't put any stents. I didn't need them. He said my arteries were like a 20-year-old. And I'm like, how's that possible? I eat like crap, you know?
Don't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I eat crappy food. It's got to have some flax in there. But he said he didn't need anything. Everything looked great. And I probably would recover 100%, but it's going to take some time. That was his words. I'm still on a lot of medicine. I still have issues with heart failure occasionally. And I say I have issues with it. I say I have issues with, I can't eat salts. I eat salts, then I start getting fluid buildup. And so I have to be really careful. If I eat anything like that, I take this stuff called Lasix. It makes you pee like 50 times in an hour. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're just constantly peeing, you know, to get all the fluid off your heart. And so I deal with that. But I'm back to running again, man. I'm back up. Heather and I went just 2 days ago to the trail, and I finally got my first 2.5 miles in. First time I've done it since heart attack.
Do you think that helps you more than medicine?
You know, you got to have the medicine, but for certain things. But I think running, moving. I say this. I do a thing when I'm up there. I'll video myself after I finish running. Walk and talk's what I usually call it. I'm cooling down. It's everything's about staying active. If you don't stay active, you will not last. That's all there is to it.
Everything's about staying active.
It's all about staying off that couch. And I mean, look,
active.
watch the TV, but you know, do it when you're not supposed to be out moving around. You know, got to be moving. And if you stay out, look, there's beauty out there to see every day. You don't see it sitting in the house. You just don't.
Well, walking outside and
fresh air.
It's something magical, isn't it?
Yes, and so it makes me feel good, and I do it every day I get a chance to. Tomorrow, you know, I work tonight at the sheriff's office, so I'll be out all night. And in the morning when I get up, we don't have anything planned, so we'll go to the trail and we'll run.
You go to the Johnson Park Trail?
No, I go up to. I like to go to the Whitewater Center. That's my favorite trail.
That's pretty good.
It's a drive. Yeah, it's a 30-mile ride, but I don't care.
Where do you walk? Is it still burnt down?
Yeah, that thing's still destroyed.
So you walk down.
We just park on we go across a little bridge.
Go across the bridge.
We drive across. There's a drive across bridge. We park over there and we run down the rhododendron trail. It's 1.25 miles down, 1.25 miles back. So it's 2.5 if you run the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's there in the mornings, right?
There's one guy there. We call him workout guy. Him and his dog Fred. He's there. He carries his own weights in his truck, and he's a old raft guy that just lives up there somewhere, and he's there all the time. And
is he pretty beefed up?
No, but he's out doing it.
He's doing something.
He's doing it. He goes up and down. I mean, we've known him for, I guess Heather and I've been talking to him for 4 or 5 years. We've seen him up there.
Is that right?
And, yeah. Every time we're there, almost every time he's there. Not always. Now, some days, like the last few days, he hadn't been there, but he drives an old beat up truck, you know, and he parks over there where we do, and he's always doing his workout, him and his dog, and he goes and you know, we have interesting conversations with him, you know, because he's that's your government, son. That's the way he talks.
He's one of those conspiracy theorists guys.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But he's comical. But anyway, so we get up there, we run. It doesn't matter if it's snowing. It doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees. Man, we're out there.
It's almost better when it's like that.
I like it when there's nobody around. I feel good.
Yeah.
And as colder it is, the better I run. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, my lungs will get cold a little bit.
Even if you're just walking briskly, that's
okay. And I walk it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been doing. I've been building up to the running. You know, we have the opportunity sometimes to go hiking, and I love to hike. You know, one of my favorite hikes is Mount LeConte up the Allen Cave Trail. We usually park there. Heather and I, on our honeymoon, that's where we went. Crazy, not right?
How long y'all been married?
12 years, going on 13.
Was you married before?
Yeah. It's crazy. Another life, another world. Gwen knows. Yeah, it was. I think I was single for almost 10 or 12 years. I'm like 12 years. Anyway, it's a long time, and so I never was going to get married again. I just was not doing it, man, for nothing. And Heather and I were just friends. We ran around together and rode bikes together. That's how I started hanging out with her, and then it started getting where we were talking all the time, and we're riding bikes more and more. And
we
started dating. Well, no, look, I'll tell you, it's a long story. Heather won't want to tell this, but it's funny. I was on this internet dating site, right? eHarmony, and then what's the other one? Match.com.
Nowadays,
This is back in the day, and I'm going to kill this phone, man.
Right.
I am going to kill that phone. So eHarmony, and then Match.com. This is back in the 2000, I think, 2001 or something like that. So we go and, I'm on this thing. And look, you put your name on there, it will never come off. I promise you. People think you're still doing this. You probably can look it up.
They got to keep their
numbers up, right?
Up, yeah.
So her and I, we were getting to the point where we were going to start dating, and she saw this thing on one of these dating sites, and she's like, he's a player or something. I probably was a player. I don't know. In my own mind, I was great,
Yeah.
So we, she got mad at me, didn't want to talk to me. I mean, for a year we didn't talk almost. Well, there's some other things that happened. I came home from Iraq, and I didn't tell her I was home when I came home that week, and I went to Arizona to trap birds. So I do something bird thing. Me and a friend of mine, and I come back, and she saw that I was home for a week, and didn't tell her.
Yeah.
And so she didn't talk to me for a while, and then one day, I'm gonna tell you, there's this thing about left and right. So a right turn versus left turn in life. So and it's about timing. I'll say it for 1,000 times. I tell people this all the time when I'm dealing with them out here as a police officer. You can make a right turn, and your whole life is completely different from a left turn. It can change everything. So one day I'm going to get printer ink. And I either go to Walmart or Staples. I don't like Staples, really. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like going in there for some reason. But I thought, I'm in a hurry. I don't really want to go fight Walmart. I usually really go to Walmart. I don't know. That's the way I used to be. Now I'm different.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm just going to go in Staples. So I went in Staples. I made a left turn instead of going into Walmart on the right side. I come out and I see Heather walking in. I'm looking down like I didn't see her. I got printer ink in my hand. And it bothered her, And Doug Boucher and I, we always go to the movies when I'm home. I mean, I just gotten back from Iraq, and I like to go and watch movies and decompress about what I had to do wherever I was at in the world. And so I didn't say anything to her. Doug and I go to the movies that night. I get a text from Heather saying, I'd like to be friends with you. Can we talk? I must have, by ignoring her, it affected her a little bit. So she thought, I got to fix this. And so I said, can we talk? Doug wants me to leave the movies right then and call her. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. I can't act like I'm that desperate. Come on, man. You love her, you got to do it. I said, I'll do it. So Doug follows me to my house to make sure I'll call her, So I called her. 6 months later, we're married. So that's the way it goes, right? Changed your whole life 6 months later.
If you hadn't have gone in,
if I hadn't gone there,
left.
It may have been.
Or should have gone 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later.
And so timing and left.
Maybe that was God again.
Again, had to be.
Maybe it's not timing. Maybe it's God.
Maybe it's all that. Maybe He made the timing happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and you just never know what life has you doing, but you can change. Your whole life can change based on one or two different circumstances.
Yeah, if you don't like it, just hang on a minute. And if you think things are going good.
Hey, you're in Southeast Tennessee. The weather changes that quick. You can change. I've got friends in Atlanta that I hear similar stories from. Actors and stuff, and how their life is it just was miraculous how they went one way and it changed their entire life. Or an acting role came for them or something. Some of them are really doing well. Some are still struggling. But look, if you have talent and you can do and you want to do something in your life, you can make it happen. You just have to want it and put effort into it.
If you had a Saturday off with nothing to do,
What is one of those?
Would you deal with birds or rather try out for an acting job?
Well, I mean, so I get auditions occasionally. I had a text the other night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Somebody asking me to send a headshot to them in Nashville. They're doing some show up there. I don't know who this person is. It's randomly sent me a message. I've got it on my text here. Look, I've tried to send it to them. It wouldn't go through. Can you email it to me? Okay, I emailed it to them. And some TV show they're filming up there. So I get those a lot. But if I were going to send a Saturday, and like this time of year, I usually fly my Falcons or Hawks. Or Heather and I'll be hiking somewhere. If it's a pretty day like this and it's warm, it's not so fun to hunt in the warm, It's more a cold weather thing for me.
What do you send the Falcons out to do? Where are they going when they leave you?
So if I fly a Falcon, they just wait on over your head and you flush stuff for them, like birds. They catch birds. We have a bird flu issue right now in the U.S., and so ducks are really kind of off limits to hunting. If you want to fly, that's usually ought to hunt with with a big falcon's ducks. But you really don't want to hunt them right now because there's a study by USDA that did in Texas. Every duck that they trapped and tested, 8 out of 10 of the ducks had tested positive for bird flu. It's not affecting the ducks. It's not killing them. But if your falcon touches that duck, I mean touches it, and bird flu's, if it's got the flu, they're dying within 48 hours. There's a guy that caught a duck with one of his falcons out in Kansas, and he fed that duck to 3 other falcons. It killed all 3 of them 48 hours later.
Golly.
Yeah.
You ever thought about a duck has no way to defend itself?
They're fast. That's the best way, and they're good in water, man. You cannot get them off water unless you have a lot of help. If there's a falcon overhead, they will not come off the water. You have to throw rocks and sticks and yell like crazy. You sound like a banshee out there.
Well, when a falcon come in and get it off the water?
No, they dive under. It's just a waste of time for a falcon
Can
to try.
they see it coming?
Yeah. Their ducks are amazingly adapted to survive in the wild, even against falcons, eagles, and things like that. Eagles eat ducks too. And I think we're having, because I'm only seeing a few, usually I see a lot of eagles this time of year.
What's more deadly, a eagle, a falcon, or a hawk?
Depends on what it's hunting. In the flight, the falcon's the fastest and kill anything. Eagles are strong. Believe it or not, eagles are very fast. They just don't look like they're flying fast because they're big. But they have endurance and they can fly really fast. They can fly a falcon down if they stay with it long enough.
Now, a falcon has more of a stub,
Pointy wings.
Right. And more of a
speed.
Rounded head.
Right, and high-speed flight.
Where a hawk has more
rounded
beak, but more rounded
wings. They slide a little slower.
Yeah.
But they're made for different things. Hawks are more or less catching ground prey. Like Cooper's hawks and sharp-shinned hawks we have here. They're bird hawks. They're the ones you see at your bird feeders catching birds. They have long tails that are real long and short rounded wings, but they're made for flying through woods. They're real maneuverable.
Yeah.
And they go really fast for the first 50 yards. And then they hit like third gear and can't go any faster. Then you got red tails. They're like small eagles. We have a lot of red tails. They eat squirrels, rabbits, things like that. But they're equal opportunity killers. They will catch anything they can. It's a disposition that they can catch it. Like for example, if they got the advantage on pigeons, they're up in New York. Say for example, there's in Chicago too. There's some pairs of red tails that live in these cities that have specialized in catching pigeons. They use all the drafts from all the big skyscrapers, and they fly up there and they dive down just like a falcon and catch pigeons. But they've adapted to these environments. Falcons hunt birds and they use speed. Now I have a falcon that's it's about this tall, right? Not very big, peregrine, and it weighs almost the same as a red tail. It's just a big, thick. It's got dense muscle.
Yeah.
Made for endurance and flight, high speed flight. Peregrines can do 200 plus miles an hour in a dive. That's really fast.
What about a pigeon? It'll always go back to its home, right?
Yeah, that's what we white doves or pigeons. Pigeons, the word pigeon is just a slang word we use. Their real name is rock dove. That's what they were called when they came from Europe. They bring these birds over.
But they'd put notes on their feet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For messages, you can do that. Well, World War I, the way to communicate where you're at, they carried pigeons around to go back home and send messages across battle lines.
The only thing is, the pigeon wouldn't go there.
They'd go back to where its home was.
Yeah, so you could only
send it one time.
One time, yeah.
Well, so so in Belgium,
unless they could send their pigeon back.
They can't do that though.
How come?
It just doesn't work that way. It's got to go back to its home loft.
Okay, but then they could send
they
their
can send
pigeon.
that one to another loft and another across the lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what'll happen is, like it said, Belgium. So I flew through Belgium quite often. Every year I put probably 200,000 air miles on my freaking flyer card when I was flying around the world doing my job. So I got to spend a lot of time traveling these places that did this. World War I and II. Belgium was they in the airport there in Brussels. They have it's shrines to pigeons. It's got their names of these pigeons, these famous pigeons that helped them in the war. And there was a plane that was shot down over. I can't remember the name of the. I can't remember the name of the pigeon or what the year, but there was a plane that was shot down in the North Sea up there, 200 miles from where its loft was. It was in a plane, right? They had some pigeons. One survived. She's covered in oil. And these guys were out here in this, they're in lifeboats, apparently, floating out there, or not lifeboats, maybe had life vests. And they sent this pigeon up with a message in the middle of the night.
Said help.
When I gave the location, their last coordinates. It was middle of the night, and they put this thing on this pigeon, and off it goes.
200 miles.
And by that morning, by daylight, it was in its loft, and it had the note, and they rescued those guys. And that bird was in like the Hall of Fame for this. That's in England.
What makes them know how to get there?
God gives them that opportunity to find it out on their own.
Nobody's ever figured that out.
No,
scientists.
No. And they have something in there. They can always find their way to their home.
Is it pretty much just a pigeon?
No, I mean a lot of birds can do it. You know, falcons come back to the same nesting area every year.
Why
they might migrate thousands of miles.
Why do they use pigeons for
well, the pigeons have endurance, and they are very. They will go home to that loft. It doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Oh. And they can go more the distance.
They can go the distance. I have birds that can fly. I've got real expensive birds. Mine are all white birds, you know, of course, for funerals. And I've got birds. The most expensive bird that I've got the bloodline now. The bird died. Me and my friend went in and got it. It was a $52,000 bird, but it won $1 million race in Las Vegas. 20-something years ago now. But this bird, it was called Snowman. We bred him to as many birds as we could, and now we have the same bloodlines. Yeah. And I got birds from Holland and from Belgium and things like that. That when I go through there, I'd get birds on the way back, just race birds that somebody didn't want. They're retiring this bird. It's done its time, and they'd sell it to me, and I bring it here and breed it to my birds, and then I've got better quality racing homers. And my birds are 500-mile birds.
The bird would fly back to the one that sold it.
Right. Well, let's say it happened to me once. So I bought a bird. There's a guy. Well, so back in the day, back in the 90s, I went to a place in Chattanooga Pigeon Racing Club, had an auction to raise money. So a guy came up from Atlanta. A bunch of people come from Atlanta. There's big racing pigeon clubs down there. And there's people from all over that show up for this thing. They held it on Signal Mountain, this thing. And, excuse me. So they had it on Signal Mountain and at the community center up there, this auction for this racing club. So I go, right? And this guy had this bird he's from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And this bird was in like 3 races, and she got hurt. Yeah. But she looked kind of cool. She had white wings with like a blue back. Looked like she's wearing a tuxedo. Uh-huh. So I got to have that bird. That's a really unique looking bird. And I bid $40 for it. You know? I got it for $40. It won 2 races and lost. Well, it didn't win the last one because it got injured, but it still made it home. Yeah. But it was permanently had a little problem with its wing. So I took it home and I had it for several years, right? And one day I was at my loft. I lived right there just south of the state line on Keith Valley Road. I went out and it was real windy. And my loft door got blown open and that bird flew out. I was like, oh man, but I'd already bred her, she'd already had probably 50 babies by then. And I get a call a couple days later from the guy that I bought the bird from in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Kenosha, Wisconsin. He was in Kenosha. He calls me and says, hey, what do you want me to do with this bird? It came back. And I'm like, it made it, that's like, that's 700 something miles. Yeah. I said, what do you want me to do? I said, look, man, thank her and feed her well and you keep her, because I got a lot of babies off of her. And she was great, but she went home. She hadn't flown in years, and she still made it back that far.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's been in that loft as a breeder I had her for 4 years.
If science can ever figure that out.
Well, they just don't have it's something that God gives them, and I mean, there's probably some little tiny portion of their brain that we can't even tell what's there, some magnet or something that tells them which way to go. So the birds I have are 500-mile birds. Mostly, the furthest I've flown my birds for a funeral was Corbin, Kentucky. When we first started doing this, Junior Buckner had us doing every funeral that they did. We put doves on, and people really loved it. Hardly ever dry, So this guy sees this dove release, I mean, we've been doing it for maybe a couple months. I'm at sunset. He comes up to me and starts to ask, like everybody asked me about the birds. It's the first time.
Yeah.
This back in 2001, I think. Asking if how this works, and I explained it to him. Well, he says, "Hey, can you do one for my service when I pass?" I said, "Sure, man." You know, I thought, well, he's local.
Let me know you when you die.
Well, guess what? About a few years later, about 2008, 7 or 8, I get a phone call from a funeral home in Kentucky saying, "Hey, so-and-so died," and he said, "You'd do it." And I remember the guy. I didn't remember his name. And he explained it to me, and I said, "Well, I told him I'd do it. I have to do it." And I said, "Look, here's the problem, though. It has to be early in the morning. Can't be late. It's wintertime. It has to be early. And I'll be glad to do it." You know, and they said, "Well, how about 10 o'clock in the morning?" I said, "Okay, 10 o'clock. That'll give them time to get home." And it's over, 3 mountain chains between Corbin, Kentucky and here?
They made it back before you did.
They did. They were back home before I got home. And I'm telling you right now, I was surprised. I honestly thought I'd lose a couple of them because I hadn't flown them more than 100 miles, Knoxville. That's usually as far as I go. I mean,
if I buy one and I raise it, will it fly back to my house too?
It would if you get it as a baby. If you train
get it as a
yeah,
baby,
you got to
yeah.
have it where
That's where it's good.
It's got to learn to hunt learn to fly as a baby at that loft where it learns to fly. That's where it returns. But it's really the way it works out. It's pretty cool though, you know.
It really
but we've
is.
done over the years. Tony, me, and my dad and my wife. We've done probably, several thousand funerals. Several thousand between us, and we had. I want to say we had in the first year we did this with Junior, we did 300 services, I think, and then it started catching on, and Chattanooga was always calling all these funeral homes down there.
It's its own business.
It is. It's. I don't want it being busier, and we're already busy enough.
Yeah. Go up on it.
I just don't want to do it that way. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I just don't feel like it's a good thing to do. We get too much business and we're not having any fun with it.
Yeah, and you get to doing it on all of them. It may not mean as much.
Right. So, but it means a lot to do. To do the ones we do, and we do a lot for Taylor Funeral Home in Chattanooga and for John P. Franklin. They call as much as anybody, and I think we had 2 for Taylor yesterday. So we do at least.
You're one busy person.
Well, you gotta stay busy, man. You gotta just keep moving and move forward with life.
Well, you're an inspiration.
I appreciate it, man.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.